Hi, welcome to today's evening yin yoga practice. As always, I will be guiding you into each pose. Then I will remain silent, giving you an opportunity to focus on your own body and breath, maybe using each pose as a chance to practice meditation or even prayer. I will not be using any props today, but of course you can use anything that will support you in your practice. So let's go ahead and begin. We'll start seated comfortably, letting the hands rest down on the thighs. If it feels okay for you, you can go ahead and close your eyes. Just taking a moment to focus on the breath, leaving behind whatever you were doing before you came to your yoga practice, and trying not to worry too much about what will come after. If your eyes are closed, you can slowly open them. And then go ahead and clasp the hands behind the back, and then bring the hands over to the right hip. Drop the chin to the chest. And on an inhale, take the right ear to the right shoulder. Resting here a moment. Feeling a stretch down the left side of the neck. And slowly release this pose, taking the hands back down behind you. Head returns to center. And then take the clasped hands over to the left hip. Drop the chin to the chest. And on an inhale, take the left ear to left shoulder. Feeling a stretch down the right side of the neck. And slowly release the pose, sending the head back to center, and let the hands rest down on the thighs. From here, inhale the arms overhead, and then exhale, place the right hand down beside you and reach over to the right with the left arm, keeping both sits bones planted on the floor. Gaze can be down toward the right hand. Feeling a stretch down the left side of the body. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, send the left hand down to the floor. Reach over to the left with the right. Both sits bones are planted on the floor. Gaze is down at the left hand. And then inhale back to center, raising the arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the right, left hand resting on the right thigh, right hand on the floor behind you. Inhale, come back to center with the arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand on the left thigh, left hand on the floor behind you. Inhale, back to center, raise the arms. Exhale, lower the hands back down. I'm going to turn to the side, but go ahead and take the legs out in front of you. And then we'll come into a forward fold, but this will be a very passive forward fold. So we'll allow the chin to drop to the chest and the back to round. Arms can rest down beside you or on the legs. Feeling a stretch down the backs of the thighs and down the spine. Go ahead and slowly make your way out of the pose, lifting the chest. Take the hands behind you, place the soles of the feet down onto the ground, wider than the hips, and then just let the knees fall from side to side. And then coming back up to center, sending the legs back out in front of you again. Take the feet out a bit wider than the hips, but not too far wide. We'll come into a forward fold from here. So walking the hands out in front of you, any amount that's good for you. When you start to feel a stretch in the inner thighs, settle in, focus on your breath. Slowly make your way out of the pose, lifting the chest, walking the hands back, and then placing the soles of the feet back down onto the ground. And we'll make our way into a tabletop position. The hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. Go ahead and flow through a couple of cat-cow, inhaling, lifting the tailbone, chin and chest. And then exhaling to round the back, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Inhale to lift the tailbone, chin and chest. And then exhale to round the back. We'll do that one more time. Inhaling to lift. And exhale, round the back. Coming back to your neutral position, go ahead and begin to walk the hands out in front of you for puppy pose, resting the forehead toward the floor or the chin. And you have the option to bend the arms, placing the hands behind the head in prayer position to feel a stretch more down the backs of the arms. And then go ahead and make your way out of the pose by pressing the hands into the ground, slowly lifting the chest, walking the hands back underneath the shoulders, and then coming into child's pose, sending the hips back towards the heels, letting the arms rest on the ground, forehead rest on the ground. And then from here, we'll make our way into thread the needle. So you have the option of doing a more passive thread the needle, so staying in your child's pose, sending the right arm underneath the left and resting the right side of the head down onto the floor. If you prefer coming into this pose from tabletop, of course you can do that. So sending the right arm underneath the left, and then hand can rest in front of the face or stretch out overhead. So whichever you prefer. Coming into your position, finding rest and stillness. And make your way out of the pose by pressing into the left hand, lifting the chest. And then we'll make our way into thread the needle on the other side. So sending the left arm underneath the right, left side of the head resting on the floor. And then pressing into the right hand to slowly make your way out of the pose. Returning to a tabletop and then coming back to sit down onto the floor. Legs stretch out in front of you. And from here, we'll make our way into a half saddle pose. So leaning over onto the right hip, bring the right foot to rest, or the left foot to rest beside the left hip. And then plant the right sole of the foot down onto the ground. From here, begin to rest back onto the forearms. So you have the option of staying here, or you can go ahead and lay all the way back, letting the hands rest down on the belly or overhead. If your arms are overhead, go ahead and place them back down beside you. Pressing into the forearms to lift the chest, and then slowly making your way back to seated, stretching the right leg out in front of you, leaning over to the right and taking the left leg out in front of you. We'll do that on the other side. So lean to the left, take the right foot near the right hip, plant the left sole of the foot down onto the ground, and then come back down onto the forearms, staying here, or going ahead and laying all the way back. Hands can rest down on the belly or overhead. And if your arms are overhead, go ahead and plant them back down beside you, pressing into the forearms to lift the chest, and then coming up to seated, stretching the left leg out in front of you, leaning to the left, and taking the right leg back out in front of you. From here, go ahead and plant the feet down onto the ground and come back to a reclined position. Pull the knees into the chest. Take a moment to rock from side to side. And then sending the soles of the feet back down onto the ground. Take the right ankle to left knee. Pull the legs toward the chest and then grab onto the back of the left thigh or the left shin for this reclined pigeon. Feeling a stretch in the right hip. And go ahead, release the pose, send the left sole of the foot back down to the ground. Pull the right knee into the chest and take the left leg long down the mat. From here, allow the right leg to fall to the outside of the torso, holding on to the shin or the outer edge of the foot. Resting here. So you have the option to stay here in this modified half happy baby, or you can aim the sole of the foot toward the ceiling, holding onto the outer edge of the foot for half happy baby. From here, slowly return the knee back to the chest. And then take the right arm out to the side, and with the left hand, pull the right knee across the body for reclined twist. Gaze can remain up at the ceiling or over toward the right hand. Slowly return to center. And then stretch the right leg long down the mat. Rest here for just a couple of breaths. Then again, plant the soles of the feet down into the ground. Left ankle to right knee. And then pull the legs toward the chest, holding on to the back of the right thigh or the shin. Feeling a stretch in the left hip. And slowly release the legs back down to the ground. Right sole of the foot plants on the floor. Pull the left knee into the chest. And send the right leg down along the mat. From here, allow the left thigh to slide to the outside of the torso, holding on to the shin or the outer edge of the foot for this modified half happy baby. You had the option to stay here or come into half happy baby by taking hold of the outer edge of the foot and aiming the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. Go ahead and release your pose, bringing the knee back into the chest. Take the left arm out long. And then with the right hand, pull the left knee across the body, coming into a reclined twist. Gaze can remain up at the ceiling or over at the left hand. And slowly return to center. We'll make our way into Shavasana, so let both legs go long down the mat. Let the feet fall out to the sides. Arms can rest down beside you or overhead. Take the first minute or so here to scan from the tips of the toes to the top of the head. Noticing if there's any tension remaining in the body. And on an exhale, allowing that tension to melt into the floor. So this is where I will leave you today. Stay here as long as you need. Thank you for practicing with me.